Welcome. Hello, I'm Hallie with Handmade by Hallie. I'm glad that you've joined me today. Today, I have a part 2 of a project that I'm going to show you how to make a finished wreath with one of the wreath centers I've made previously on a video. It's one of the jewelry centers. It is specifically this one. We're going to make a pink and black flower wreath using this center. If you didn't see this video on how I made this, go back and search for this. This should be under jewelry centers. Let me lower the camera and I'll show you the materials that you need. So here are the materials that you're going to need. You're going to need a Unique in the Creek smallboard. I do have a link in my bio for a discount on purchasing these boards. You'll want to make sure to check that out if you've never purchased these boards. We will need a flower center. As I mentioned, I did make a video on how to make these, so check that out. Then you will need a roll of black mesh that is 21 inches long. Then you will also need a roll of hot pink mesh that is 21 inches long. I've cut my whole pink one, so that's what you get to see there. Besides that, you will need to cut your mesh a rotary cutter, of course some scissors. Some of the must-haves are some clips of different sizes. A possibility is using some small rubber bands that you can find in the hair section, Dollar Tree, Walmart, Target, wherever. And then possibly a glue gun. And then to attach everything, you are going to want some zip ties, as I make a mess with them. So these ones are 6 to 8 inches long, 18-pound zip ties. You will then also need wire cutters and or a zip tie gun. And that's about it. This one's not too awfully complicated. It is a little bit time consuming, so I have prepped by making my petals with these, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is how I've cut my mesh. So my mesh, this is 21 inches long, and we cut this into a 21-inch square. So that's approximately what it looks like. I'm going to show you how to cut 2 of the black ones. So I'm going to unroll this. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to unroll this. I like to use my yardstick going on the outside edge of my cutting mat. I know that's out of your camera view, but I'm just using the yardstick to pull out my mesh and keep it kind of straight. As you get down to the bottom of your roll, I do end up having to put something heavy down there to hold it. And we're going to put something heavy here to hold this. So we're going to cut this 21 inches long. Just a fairly straight cut. Okay, so we end up with a piece. We'll put this off to the side, and I'll cut one more. And this project does take pretty much the entire of both rolls. 21 inches. Okay. Put that guy up so we don't cut ourselves, though that's pretty sharp. So as you see, we just have a little bit of mesh left. I don't really save those. All right, so let me show you the petals that we are going to make. We are going to make these petals. So this is going to be a double petal. The pink is going to be inside of the black. And let me show you how to make this. So we have our pink, and it's going to be curl side up. We're going to unroll it, and yes, it can be kind of difficult. That's why we have some clips here to help hold things together. We're going to fold this in half and make a big triangle. So I'm going to match this and put a clip and kind of match my sides as best I can. Flatten it down. Then I'm going to take this top corner and bring it down to the center and hold it there. And the same with this one, and hold it there. So then from there, I'm going to take this off for a moment. The best way that I've found is I slide this off the desk just slightly, and I'm going to take this raw edge and I'm going to curl it a couple of times underneath. I'll turn this over so you can see that. I'm going to take this and curl this a couple times, tucking any raw edges under there. Okay, now we're going to just pull this straight and kind of walk our fingers up to where those kind of outside wings were. And sometimes at this point it doesn't necessarily look exactly how I want it to look, and that's okay. When we get it all together, it'll be fine. So this is what I'm going after, is this shape. Most of this we're going to cut off. Just going to put a clamp on it and set it aside, because we're going to repeat the same thing with the black. So we're going to unroll it, grab this top corner, bring it down to the bottom. You can see this is the last cut, so it likes to roll in on itself. So this is when our clips come in handy to help unroll it. Okay, so there we have our big triangle. Now I'm going to take our pink and lay it here. I'm going to put another clip because that doesn't want to behave. I want a couple inches up here at the top. So I'm going to leave that. What I'm going to do is kind of pinch the top together and bring it alongside. Same thing, we're going to bring this alongside here. And I'm going to pinch that together. And we're going to kind of nestle the pink one down inside the black. I'm going to take these off. So this is going to be the same thing. I'm going to slide this side off. Now you can see I've got some pieces sticking out. I'm going to trim those off before I roll it. So I'm going to repeat the same. I'm going to slide this to the outside and roll this a couple times. And then roll this a couple times, making it the back look like this. And as you saw, the pink likes to pop out. All right, so this petal ends up being from tip to where we're going to cut it about 10 inches long. So I'm going to hold this here so I can get my pink inside. So that's about what we want, is something like that. So here's the back. If you want to, you can close this a little bit and put a dab of hot glue, not a lot. Pull this over, and this is what these metal clamps are for, is to hold that together just a bit. All right, this extra one here we're ready to take off, and we're going to do about a 2-inch tail and toss all of that. Now you can leave it like this if you have enough clips. I am choosing to go ahead and put a little rubber band on the end here. So I'm going to take this off, put it around, and double it once, like that. This should be dry now, so we'll take that off. And that's the petal we're making. We're making a double. I believe this is the lolly petal. So let's make one more. So you do this in lots of color combos. Now when we're starting out, we always want our serged edge up here on the left and down here on the bottom right. Top corner down with the clip. Pull this left side together, and then this right side. Lay it flat. So we're going to flatten it. We're going to bring this down to the center. And again over here, down to the center. Okay. So from here, we're sliding it off. I'm going to cut those couple of strays. Roll this into the center. Roll this into the center. Pull it straight. Walk your fingers up just a little. And we're going to put our clip on. So there's one. Repeat for the black. Serge edge on the top left and the bottom right. Pull this tips together. I guess you could call this the taming of the mesh. Kind of like taming your hair, making it do what you want it to do. We're going to put one more on here. All right, now we're going to take this with a couple inches at the top. Gently pull and hold it there about where your clip is. And then the same for the other side. So I'm going to use that clip to hold both of those together. So we slide it off and roll in. And then roll this side in. By rolling it, that makes the inside, all those uneven edges, nice and flat. That pink, I always like to stick its head out. We can see you in there. Okay. So this one I'm not going to put glue on the back. You could. Again, about a 2-inch tail. And then we're going to put a rubber band on. All the way around once. And double it a second time. Okay, so there we have our petals all ready to go. Let me bring my board out and show you the pattern. So we are not going to put any petals on the outside row. We are only going to put petals on row 2 and row 3 because the center will go here. So if we put petals here and then petals, they will overlap here, and then the center will go like this, and you'll see kind of the look. They overlap each other. All right, so the next part that we need to do is put our zip ties in. So we need 8 zip ties in row 2 and 8 in row 3. We're going to put them in this way. I had marked my board for something else. I don't remember what. So we're going to put them in. We are going to take eight petals, and we are just going to slide the whole tail under the closed zip tie, and you can go in between. We're going to go to about that 2-inch mark where we have the rubber band. We're going to tighten this, and I'll come back with my zip tie gun and tighten that and cut it off. Okay, so we've got that row in, and what I'm going to do now to help, I don't know if you've noticed, but sometimes these like to slide back and forth, kind of changing their position. So I'm going to go through and make sure that our petals look the way I want them to, but what I'm going to do is lift this up and do a dab of glue underneath. See if you can see that underneath right there. Not a lot, but that'll just help that petal to stay in place. Now, I think I'm seeing we may have one issue that I can see some of my zip ties. So we're going to do a little trick that I found. Maybe that might fix this. So let me grab a couple more of my clips here. All right, so what I'm going to do is between these two petals, I'm going to bring the black together and put a dab of glue right here. not a lot, because you don't want to be melting your mesh. You can do that. And I'm just going to put a clip on that. And by doing that, hopefully this is going to hide that row behind it. Try that. Do that one again. Okay, so I still have some of these zip ties here that I want to hide. So what I'm going to do is maybe a couple things. We might add something to our petals. But I'm going to add to the bottom of our center. I have this black fringe that I have from a previous project. So I'm going to pull some of this off. I have quite a bit of this. Didn't throw it away because it is wired and it'll do good for something like this. So I think what we're going to do is kind of make some loops. Like so. And glue those down. If I need to, I can put some small jewelry pins to hold those, but I think this will do, just gluing it to the bottom here. Okay, I see one here. Okay, I'm gonna hold on to that. And if I lift this up, I know you can't see, but I can see the holes. We went out there, but that's okay. We just need this to be long enough to twist together. And then this long enough to stick in there. All right. So there we have it. We have some pink sneaking out here. Our pink and black flower with the pink and black center, all ready to go. Thank you for joining me today. Stay tuned for more. You'll want to make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on my latest videos. Thank you. We'll see you again soon.